Back everyone, the iPhone 11 and iPhone 11 Pro came out in 2019, so let's go and see how both these phones compare in 2022. Now I will say I would recommend the 11 Pro, but the 11 still being sold by Apple brand new, so this one might be a little bit easier to buy, but this one is also available in the certified refurbished market, so there's a little bit of trade-off there. Now if you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. I'll find the cheapest ones on Amazon, link them down there. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely tell the iPhone 11 Pro is a little bit of a smaller phone. The iPhone 11 has a 6.1-inch IPS panel on the front, and I'll definitely say for many years that I've been talking about both these phones, this is a very solid phone. It looks beautiful, and it also is a very good-looking phone still for the most part. It's definitely not perfect though. It is an IPS panel and the resolution is like 750p, so that's pretty low compared to nowadays. But it's not a bad panel. The viewing angles are pretty good. A little bit of bezel around the phone. The 11 Pro on the other hand has a 5.8-inch Super Retina, I think XDR OLED display, whatever they called it at that time. And this is a very good panel too. Now, there's still a little bit of bezel, I guess a little bit less bezel than the iPhone 11. The notches are pretty much the same, but this panel is visibly better. You can tell this is a better panel for sure. I will say though, both these phones are missing some crucial things we have nowadays compared to a lot of phones in the market, including no notches. That's still not available on the iPhones that we have now, so not a big deal. But the lack of ProMotion on the 11 Pro as well, not a big deal either, but one of those things to keep in mind. In terms of thickness and thickness, kind of the same thing too. I think the 11 is a little bit thicker, but they both weren't like super thin phones. On the back, we have glass backs on both as well, but there's a little bit of a difference. The iPhone 11 Pro has a frosted glass back, where the iPhone 11 has a standard glass back. So when you feel these things, you definitely can feel like the iPhone 11 Pro is a much more premium feeling phone. You have the metallic sides that are like, transparent, not transparent, they got like reflective, which look nice, but also with the frosted back, it just makes things feel so much more premium on the iPhone 11 Pro. Now we also have a triple camera setup on the iPhone 11 Pro. The 11 has a dual camera setup, both have wireless charging, IP certification as well. And I'll definitely say if you're feeling both in the hand, the 11 Pro will feel like a $1,000 phone still. With the iPhone 11, it does kind of feel like a $499 phone, to be honest. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there. Now, in terms of the software updates, this is a very interesting thing, mostly because both these phones will be lasting relatively the exact same time. So because of the chipsets inside, and because they actually have the same amount of RAM as well, theoretically speaking, there shouldn't really be a difference here. They should be getting the exact same software updates for the next several years. And if I had to guess, these phones are probably going to end off probably around 2000. So I'll probably say another like 2-3 years. I would say about 3 years. That's when these phones are probably going to end off at. So with that being said, these phones still have quite a bit of a lifespan ahead of them, and I'm genuinely curious to see how long these phones will end up lasting. So that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. Both these devices have the Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the fastest one between both of these. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, as you guys can tell. Both these are on iOS 16. The iPhone 11 is here. The iPhone 11 Pro is here. Phone call is 3, 2, 1. Totally messed up the first one. I don't know why I didn't even click that the second time. 3, 2, 1 for music. Both are on different panels too, so we'll just load this one up to their panels and we'll just hop out. Let's do their app stores. 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 11 is actually faster there than the iPhone 11 Pro. I feel like my iPhone 11 Pro is giving me a weird screen issue now for some reason, which is very strange. Scrolling through about the same thing, hopping out of here. Let's do photos. 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing too. Hopping out of this one, camera, 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too. Let's go into mail, 3, 2. I don't have it. Clock, 3, 2, 1. Okay, hopping out of here. Let's go and do reminders, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think the iPhone 11 Pro is faster there by a little bit. Notes, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 2 different panels here, so we'll just load that one out. Let's go ahead and do clock, 3, 2, 1. I think I've already done that one. I don't even remember. Stocks, 3, don't have it. Apple TV, also don't have it. Health, 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing too. Settings, 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing too. So as always, we have a bunch of these third-party applications we can go and get into. So let's start it up. Let's do Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. Now this game gives me so many issues every single time. I'm pretty much going to be done with it. Random pop-ups, random screen things. So I guess we'll see what happens. Given that I said that, this is probably going to work perfectly now. And it pretty much did. And the iPhone 11 was actually faster there. Very, very surprising. Hopping out of here. Let's do Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. iPhone 11 is faster. Dropbox, 3, 2, 1. 11 Pro, I think it was the faster one. BOFA, I do not have. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully we do not have any pop-ups here either, but I'm ready to click out of them. And you can see the iPhone 11, I think, was the faster one, just by a little bit though. Not like a crazy big deal, but it does look like the 11 was faster. And the 11 Pro got into it a little bit after. So funny enough, we're seeing some differences. Facebook 321. Okay, logged in here, not logged in here, so a little bit of difference. Let's go and do stack 321. And that one covers that one up, kind of about the same. And we'll end it off with Snake vs. Blocks 321. And the iPhone 11 was the faster one there by a little bit. So overall, very, very surprising how well the iPhone 11 Pro was doing, or the 11 was doing. I think it was probably the more times faster one than the next iPhone, which is very, very surprising. I would not expect that to happen most of the time, but also the iPhone 11 has a lower resolution display, and with the same internals, it should theoretically be a faster phone. So not super surprising there, but it is kind of surprising at the same time, considering this was a $1,000 phone. So in terms of that, that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go and kind of look at the cameras. They both have a little bit of a different camera setup for the most part. Like I mentioned before, iPhone 11 has a dual camera setup. The iPhone 11 Pro has a triple camera setup. Now they're both theoretically kind of the same type of camera for the most part. Wide and ultra wide, same megapixel count, same resolutions. You can film in 4K 60 on the front and the back. It's just the 11 Pro has an additional telephoto lens. Now one thing I will definitely tell you with the iPhone 11 camera, for many, many years now, this has been a solid lens. I've talked about this for many years, and I feel like still for $499 being sold brand new, you can't really go wrong with this phone. I mean, it has and does everything you'd ever want. The only issue is sometimes like zooming in and out may be a little glitchy. You don't have cinematic mode on either one of these phones, but you still have portrait mode, you still have video mode, you still have the ability of, going to TikTok and using a really good camera if you want it, or, taking really good quality Instagram photos or Snapchat stories. This phone still has it all in my opinion. But the 11 Pro, I think, is definitely the better one when it comes down to it. You have not only the same type of capability as the iPhone 11, but you also have the additional telephoto lens. Now that additional telephoto lens basically gives you a better camera setup. It allows you to go ahead and zoom in a lot more than the iPhone 11. I mean, you can see how much I can zoom in. I think I can zoom in more, so that's pretty much all I can zoom in at. And that is a really good zooming in capability. You can also zoom out a lot too, just like how we did it before on the iPhone 11. So I think this is definitely a really solid camera, and it's definitely better than the iPhone 11. Now, is it worth upgrading to this phone? That's a little bit of a different story. I'm not 100% too sure, but this phone, the iPhone 11 Pro, still has a very solid lens for sure. Now, this kind of takes us to the end of the video, and to be honest, there's no surprise here. I think the iPhone 11 Pro is probably the better phone when it comes down to it. I mean, this thing pretty much has it all. It has, a really good display, better build quality, still great back, triple camera setup, amazing battery life. I would say this is almost better battery life than the iPhone 11 in most things that I've tested, which is very weird. Performance is still great. I think the only reason you would probably not want to buy this phone is if for some reason you can't find it at a good price. Other than that, I think this is probably going to be cheaper in most cases than the iPhone 11, but this phone is still very easy to pick up. You can walk into the Apple Store and pick up a phone like this, which is nice. It has still pretty good build quality, pretty good display. Seemed like it was faster than the iPhone 11 Pro, but I think this is definitely a really good phone too, but the 11 Pro is definitely the one I would recommend for sure. So that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.